So next, as promised, we're going to look at the fastest way I think someone may be able to transition to tech at the age of 40. So one of the first things is we want to pick a path. So when you pick a path, consider your strengths when picking a path. So if you like solving problems, if you like troubleshooting issues, if there's an issue at home, you can go down the proper steps of troubleshooting it and getting that fixed, and you enjoy that. Then, my friend, I may say that a troubleshooting role or a support role may be up your alley. Whether this is IT support in general, network support, cyber support, desktop support, all of these may be a good fit for you if you like solving those problems, troubleshooting, learning new things, which in tech in general, you're always going to be learning something new, but especially if you like that solving problems aspect. And then one thing I often look at when I meet other coworkers or people in tech in general is a lot of times you probably know somebody that's very organized. Usually every time I see someone that's very organized and they're organized with everything, their desk stays organized, their computer is organized, usually to me, it points out almost like somebody got a sticker on their forehead. It points out to me that this person will be a good project manager. So if you're one person that's very neat, very organized, you think that you can be the glue that brings everyone together, because usually that project management person usually is, and they have these roles for everything in IT. Usually every position in IT or every department in IT, every IT in general always has this project manager. So if you think that's a good fit for you, being able to get the right people on a call for certain projects, you're kind of being the glue that holds everything together, because you're responsible for pushing this project along and getting this project completed. So if you're one of those type people, I would say that look towards the project management route. So this is still you're still in the IT department, except for you're more the one, almost you're the organizer. Look at it almost like Phil Jackson when he was coaching. He wasn't out there playing basketball, but he knew how to pull the right pieces in order to make that winning team. So that's the same thing with the project manager. You're getting the right people together in order to accomplish a goal. So I think that's one thing when you're picking your path, take a look at your strengths and consider your strengths also. And then the second tip is, once you choose that path, check and see if that path has a certification. So, and I'm saying that to say this is, we're looking for, in this scenario, we're looking for the fastest way. So the fastest way, I think, is once you choose that path, see if that path has a certification. So I think this will be the fastest way, that's something that you can put on your resume that may help you stand out to get that first interview. So I can't really think of a other faster way than getting a cert. So if you decide that, I want to go for IT support in general, this may end up being that you go and look at that A+. So we need something that's just going to make you stand out from the crowd a little bit. Now, not saying you're going to be the only one with this A+. Depending on your area, if you're in a small town, that percentage could be real small. But for most of us, when we're competing for different roles, we're not the only one with that certification, but there are a lot of people that may not have it. So we want something that's going to help us stand out. So if the path you choose has a cert, I would definitely go and try to get that certification, or start trying to self-study towards that certification. Now, getting this certification, I talk about certifications a lot. You hear a lot of people talk about certifications, especially in tech. So getting the certification, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're guaranteed a job. So I'm not going to go that far and say you're guaranteed a job. But if we're looking at the fastest way to get into tech, I think this certification is going to help you compete with folks that may have a 2-year degree or may have a 4-year degree. So if we compare all those together, that 2-year degree, that 4-year degree, is going to help you compete with that, because you got the certification that specializes for that particular aspect or that particular technology. So I think this will help us out. So if we're looking at the fastest path, choose the path that aligns to your strengths because that's going to make you shine in that path. Then the second tip, like I said, if it has a certification tied to it, start trying to pursue that certification. And then my third tip is to get hands-on experience. So whatever certification you choose, if there's a way to do any kind of labs or get your hands on the equipment, if it involves equipment or different projects, if there's a way for you to do that, try your best to get that hands-on experience. Because I'm not saying that, okay, you doing labs and everything, I'm not saying that that's going to be the thing to get you a job, but you want to be ready so that when you get in these interviews or if you get hired, you're comfortable on the equipment. Whether that is you've been doing the labs in a virtual environment where you've been using an application to do labs, or if you went out and bought some older equipment that you can use to do labs on, or if you're coding different projects you done created, but you want to already be familiar with the technology that you're going and trying to transition into. So if there's a way for whatever you're transitioning into for you to get any kind of hands-on experience, try to get that hands-on experience. Then also another thing that you could possibly do is help out your friends with their issues. You can freelance, you can volunteer. A lot of times your local church, they always need an IT person. Your friends and family, a lot of times they always need someone with tech. One of the first things I used to do when I was a student was I was the guy around town that was removing viruses for people. So people get a virus on their PC, they would bring it to me. I remove the virus, return it back to them. So that's one way I kept up with my skill set, where back then I didn't really have a way to get networking aspect or networking real life scenarios because most people just had virus issues and most of them just had home internet. So it wasn't too much to mess with on the network side there. So on the network side, I still had packet tracer and things like that to kind of keep it up a little bit. But my main thing was back then I would remove viruses from people. So your friends and family. So once they find out that you're pretty good with tech or you're pretty good around a PC, a lot of times if they have issues, you're going to be the first person they call. So anything, once you choose that path, if it has a certification, we're going to go for it. Then if there's a way for you to get hands-on experience in the meantime, we're going to try to get that as much as possible. So the last tip I have to help your transition into tech at the age of 40 and over is we're going to use your network to reach out to people that we know in IT. So if you already know somebody who works in IT, we're going to reach out to those people, let them know that you're interested, and let them know what you have done to prepare. So by this time, you may already have that certification that whatever you're trying to pursue has to go along with it. So let's say if that certification is a Security Plus. I know a lot of people studying for that Security Plus right now. So if that certification is a Security Plus and you already have someone in your professional network that may be in a technical position, they may be in security, they may be in networking, but when you reach out to this person and you express your interest to get into the tech field, a lot of times what's going to kind of make our bug ears go up is when I'm talking to someone and they're trying to get into tech and they may say, yeah, I went out and I was studying for the Security Plus on my own and I passed the test a month ago. So usually that indicates one thing. Well, it indicates more than one thing, but the first thing that comes to my mind is that this person is serious. That lets me know that you're really serious, especially if you may not have went to school for it, or let's say if you did go to school for it, either way. But when someone goes out and get the certification, that's something that you have to take on your own. It's not something that, it's nothing that somebody going to make you go and do. So you have to want that certification, put the time aside in when you leave work or when you leave school and study for that certification. So to anyone that's on the IT side, once we hear that, okay, you went out, studied for this certification, you obtained this certification, that lets me know you're serious because now you got some skin in the game. You already done put some skin in the game. So now people know you're serious. So now if you contact someone that's in your network and they working in tech, a lot of times they're going to, if it comes up or if possible, they may mention it to that hiring manager say, hey, I know someone who has just got their Security Plus and they're just looking for, looking for a chance, looking for a way to get into the field, and they're interested in going the cyber route. So this, I think, is a way that could help you out to get you started in tech at the fastest way possible. So going over those 4 steps, you know what I'm saying, choosing your path. If that path has a certification, we're going to try to pursue that certification. And then if there's a way to get any kind of hands-on experience, whether that's through labs, environments, or virtual environments, or through helping out friends, freelance, and things like that, we're going to try to get some hands-on experience, because this is what's going to make us comfortable doing that particular job. So then from there, like I said, reaching back out to that network again to see if there's anyone that you can think of that may be working on the tech side of things. That way, if you're able to reach out through them, or maybe through a friend or somewhat, but if you're able to reach out to them and let them know that what all you have been doing, I think that will make them go out and try to help you get hired. Because a lot of times if I hear it, then if something comes up where I say, oh, okay, somebody's looking for someone to fill a position, a lot of times that person will pop up in my head and say, oh, I know someone that just passed this certification. So in the long run, like I said, it's hard to say how everyone's journey will end up going. Like I said, for me, it took roughly about a couple years before I got in. I know someone who, it took them less than a year to get in. I know someone took them a couple months to get in. So everyone's journey is different. A lot of it's going to depend on your location and things of that nature also. But the main thing that I always suggest is for anyone, whether you're 40 and over or you're under 40, the main thing I suggest is to don't stop applying. A lot of times what end up happening is if something comes up that puts us off track where, okay, I got to go out and get this job here because I got such and such done came up in life. Yes, so things in life is going to happen. Go out, get that job to make sure you can do what you need to do, make sure you can provide, but at the same time, still throw that IT resume out, because you never know when you're going to get that hit. And a lot of times that hit may end up being double what you're making over here, or sometimes it could be roughly about the same what you're making, but then you got to think about the long run. Okay, I'm going to take this lateral step to get in tech. Then from here, my next position may end up being triple what I was making over here. So it's just something to think about, just some gems.